The birth of Henry VII, a turning point in English history. Introduction. Henry VII, born on January 28, 1457, at Pembroke Castle in Wales, is one of the most pivotal figures in English history. His birth marked the beginning of a journey fraught with challenges and adversity, ultimately leading to the end of the Wars of the Roses and the establishment of the Tudor dynasty. Let's explore the intricate circumstances surrounding his birth, the trials and tribulations of his early life, and the profound impact he would later have on England and its monarchy. By examining these aspects in greater detail, we uncover the significance of his life and legacy. The context of Henry's birth. Henry VII's birth took place during one of the most tumultuous periods in English history. The Wars of the Roses, a series of dynastic conflicts between the houses of Lancaster and York, were raging across the kingdom. These battles were not just a clash of armies, but a prolonged struggle for power and legitimacy that deeply divided the nobility and left the country in disarray. This chaotic backdrop set the stage for Henry's challenging rise to power, making his birth a beacon of hope for the Lancastrian cause. The backgrounds of Henry VII's parents. Henry VII's lineage and family connections were instrumental in shaping his claim to the throne and the alliances that supported his rise. His mother, Lady Margaret Beaufort, came from one of the most prominent noble families in England. A direct descendant of John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster, Margaret's lineage tied her to the royal family through the legitimized Beaufort line. Despite questions surrounding the legitimacy of the Beaufort claim, Margaret's ancestry provided a strong Lancastrian connection, making her a key figure in the power struggles of the era. Margaret's early life was marked by precocious maturity and political acumen. She was married at a very young age, as was customary among noble families seeking to secure alliances. Her union with Edmund Tudor, Earl of Richmond, was strategically significant. Edmund, born to Owen Tudor and Queen Catherine of Valois, the widow of King Henry V, brought a unique blend of royal and Welsh heritage to the Tudor lineage. The marriage symbolized the merging of Lancastrian and Tudor ambitions, solidifying their position in the fractious political landscape. Edmund Tudor, Henry's father, was a key figure in the Lancastrian cause. As the half-brother of King Henry VI, Edmund held a position of significant influence within the Lancastrian court. His Welsh ancestry and connection to the Tudor family added a distinct cultural and political dimension to his role. The Tudors traced their lineage back to Ednyfft Fychan, a prominent 13th-century Welsh statesman, and they maintained strong ties to the Welsh nobility. These connections would later prove invaluable in rallying support for Henry's claim to the throne. Tragically, Edmund Tudor's life was cut short when he was captured and imprisoned by Yorkist forces. He died of the plague in November 1456, leaving Margaret widowed and pregnant with Henry. Despite this devastating loss, Margaret's resilience and determination ensured that her son would survive and thrive. She sought refuge under the protection of Jasper Tudor, Edmund's brother, who became a steadfast guardian and mentor to young Henry. Criticism of Henry VII's bloodline. One of the criticisms often levied against Henry VII was the lack of a more direct and uncontested royal bloodline. While his mother, Margaret Beaufort, was a descendant of John of Gaunt, her lineage came through the legitimized Beaufort line, which some viewed as a weaker claim to the throne. This branch of the family, though legitimized by royal decree, carried the stigma of being originally born out of wedlock, leading to questions about the validity of its connection to the royal bloodline. Critics argued that this tenuous link made Henry's claim less credible than those of the Yorkist contenders. Similarly, his paternal lineage through Edmund Tudor, while noble and tied to the Lancastrian cause, was not directly royal. Edmund's father, Owen Tudor, was a Welsh courtier whose marriage to Queen Catherine of Valois was a source of contention. Though the union brought prestige, it did not carry the direct royal authority needed to strengthen Henry's claim. As a result, Henry's ascent to the throne relied more on his political acumen, military success, and the support of key allies rather than an unassailable hereditary right. This perceived deficiency in Henry's royal bloodline became a focal point for Yorkist opposition and propaganda. The Yorkists often portrayed him as a usurper whose claim to the throne was based more on circumstance than on birthright. Richard III, the Yorkist king whom Henry defeated at Bosworth, was seen by his supporters as having a more legitimate claim through his descent from the senior Plantagenet line. Henry's victory, therefore, was not just a military triumph but also a challenge to the deeply entrenched notions of hereditary legitimacy. Despite these criticisms, Henry VII's reign demonstrated that effective governance and stability could outweigh concerns about bloodline. By marrying Elizabeth of York, he united the warring houses of Lancaster and York, creating a new legacy that blended the claims of both factions. This strategic alliance not only silenced many critics but also established a dynasty that would rule England for over a century. Henry's ability to consolidate power and gain the loyalty of key factions proved that leadership and strategy could overcome the limitations of lineage. The political landscape of 15th-century England. The mid-15th century was marked by profound political instability and shifting allegiances. The Yorkist King Edward IV had seized the throne, displacing the Lancastrian King Henry VI. This dramatic shift in power had far-reaching consequences, creating a climate of uncertainty and danger for those loyal to the Lancastrian cause. The struggle for dominance between these two houses left the kingdom fractured and vulnerable to external threats, with power constantly shifting between factions. Henry's early years were spent under the protection of his uncle, Jasper Tudor, a staunch Lancastrian who ensured his nephew's safety amid the volatile political climate. Recognizing the danger Henry faced as a Lancastrian heir, Jasper took him to Brittany, where they lived under the protection of Duke Francis II. This period of exile, though challenging, was formative for Henry, shaping his character and instilling in him the resilience and strategic thinking that would define his reign. It was during this time that Henry developed the diplomatic acumen and patience that would later become hallmarks of his kingship. During his time in Brittany, Henry learned valuable lessons in diplomacy and survival. The political maneuvers he observed and experienced firsthand would later inform his approach to governance and alliances. This experience of displacement and exile gave him a deep understanding of the precarious nature of power and the importance of securing loyalty through calculated actions. His ability to adapt to challenging circumstances and form alliances was critical in his eventual rise to power. Henry's path to the throne. As Henry grew older, his claim to the throne became increasingly significant. The deaths of key Lancastrian figures, including Henry VI and his son Edward of Westminster, left Henry as the primary Lancastrian claimant. This position, while elevating his status, also placed him in great peril. The Yorkist regime viewed him as a threat to their dominance, making his survival a constant struggle. Henry's ability to navigate these treacherous waters and maintain his claim is a testament to his resilience and political skill. The turning point came in 1485 when Henry, supported by French forces and loyal Lancastrian allies, returned to England to challenge the Yorkist King Richard III. The Battle of Bosworth field on August 22, 1485, proved decisive. Henry's forces triumphed, and Richard III was killed, marking the end of the Wars of the Roses. Henry's victory was not just a military achievement but a symbol of hope for a fractured kingdom. His success at Bosworth demonstrated his ability to inspire loyalty and lead effectively, even under immense pressure. Henry's ascension to the throne marked the beginning of the Tudor dynasty, a period characterized by relative stability and significant cultural and political advancements. His ability to navigate the complex political landscape and secure his position as king demonstrated his remarkable leadership skills. His early struggles and eventual triumph created a narrative of perseverance and determination that endeared him to his supporters. Henry's rise to power also represented a turning point for England, ushering in an era of unity and progress. The significance of Henry VII's reign. Henry VII's reign was transformative for England. He faced the daunting task of restoring stability to a kingdom that had been ravaged by decades of civil war. Through a combination of strategic marriages, financial reforms, and the establishment of a strong central government, Henry laid the foundation for the Tudor dynasty's enduring success. His reign became synonymous with a period of recovery and renewal, characterized by a focus on unity and growth. One of Henry's most significant achievements was his marriage to Elizabeth of York. This union symbolized the reconciliation of the warring houses of Lancaster and York, bringing an end to the Wars of the Roses and ushering in a new era of unity. The marriage also solidified Henry's claim to the throne, strengthening his legitimacy and ensuring the continuity of his dynasty. Their children represented the unification of previously divided factions, a powerful symbol of the new era. This strategic alliance not only brought peace to the realm but also set a precedent for future dynastic marriages. Economically, Henry implemented policies aimed at reducing the power of the nobility and promoting trade. The establishment of the Court of Star Chamber allowed him to enforce justice and curb the influence of powerful noble families. These measures, combined with his focus on fiscal responsibility, helped to stabilize the kingdom and create a foundation for prosperity. His financial prudence ensured that the monarchy was less reliant on the nobility for support, further consolidating his power. Henry's economic policies laid the groundwork for the flourishing of commerce and industry during the Tudor era. Henry's reign also saw the beginning of the English Renaissance, a period of cultural and intellectual flourishing. He encouraged exploration and trade, paving the way for England's emergence as a global power in the centuries to come. His careful governance and emphasis on stability and growth left an indelible mark on the kingdom. The patronage of the arts and the promotion of learning during his reign set the stage for future cultural achievements. Henry's vision extended beyond his immediate reign, ensuring that his legacy would influence generations to come. Legacy of Henry VII. Henry VII's legacy is profound and far-reaching. He not only ended a period of political instability but also established a dynasty that would rule England for over a century. His reign marked the beginning of the Tudor era, a time of significant cultural, political, and economic transformation. The policies and reforms he introduced had a lasting impact on the structure and governance of England, shaping its future trajectory. Henry's ability to navigate the challenges of his time and implement lasting reforms ensured the success of his dynasty. His marriage to Elizabeth of York and his efforts to consolidate power and restore stability set the stage for the reigns of his successors, including his son Henry VIII and his granddaughter Elizabeth I. The foundation he laid enabled them to build on his achievements and steer England through transformative periods in its history. His vision and leadership provided a blueprint for effective monarchy, blending pragmatism with ambition. Henry VII's impact extended beyond his own reign. His policies and reforms laid the groundwork for the development of a strong and centralized monarchy, shaping the future of England. His emphasis on fiscal responsibility, justice, and governance continues to be studied as a model of effective leadership. The legacy of his reign serves as a reminder of the importance of resilience and strategic foresight in leadership. Henry's contributions to England's governance, economy, and culture established him as a transformative figure whose influence endured long after his death. Conclusion. The birth of Henry VII in 1457 was a turning point in English history. Despite the challenges he faced as a child, Henry rose to become one of England's most significant monarchs. His reign brought an end to the Wars of the Roses, established the Tudor dynasty, and set the stage for a period of prosperity and cultural flourishing. Henry's life and legacy are a testament to resilience, strategic thinking, and effective leadership, ensuring his place as a transformative figure in the annals of English history. The story of his life continues to inspire and captivate, reflecting the enduring significance of his contributions to the nation. By uniting a fractured kingdom and laying the groundwork for future prosperity, Henry VII's legacy remains one of the most enduring in English history. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe to Medieval Chronicles 1066 for more journeys back to the Middle Ages. Stay curious.